What's up, brother? So yeah, it's been a while. I've been to Thailand training Muay Thai and I finally got the password of my channel back. But yeah, a lot has happened since my last video. And this is some UFC 4 gameplay because I'm not really trying to buy the fifth one. I don't think it's worth it. And I have so many clips just laying around, so might as well put them to good use. Today I wanted to talk about the pound for pound state actually of the rankings. There's been debates about the pound for pound because of Pereira and because of Islam, and now Jon's coming again. So let me just say the answer is pretty easy. Having Makhachev right now as the king might seem appropriate when you don't dig it, but when you do, it just isn't. Because out of the top 3 pound for pound, he's the only one who still hasn't reached double champ status. He's the one, in my opinion, with the least accomplishments, and he's also the only one who never tried moving up or down. While Jones and Pereira are both double champs, have more title wins, and also won more impressively lately. Even though for Jon, you could argue that. So in my opinion, the king is very clearly Alex Pereira. Now listen, I've doubted him. Look at my last video. I've predicted his downfall for so long, and I can't even remember when's the last time I picked for him. But nobody expected this from this dude. And even though I always respected him, because he's a double champ in 2 sports, of course, like how could I not respect him? I just didn't think he would reach that level of success so quick. And I never thought he could just run through so many champions that easy. But he's done that. And he's done it in 2 years and a half. Like, he's beaten pound for pound fighters like Izzy, Yuri, and Jamal. And they were all on the list at the time he beat them. Like, Yuri and Jamal were both respectively at like 13 or 14 at the time he beat them. Unless they had just taken them out. But if my memory serves me well, I think they were both, at least when Jamal was still considered kind of like a vacant champ, he was still on the pound for pound. He's made it look fairly easy, apart from the Izzy fight and the Blachowicz fight, who, by the way, I think he lost to Blachowicz, but it's a respectable take to say he won that. It was a split decision. I just thought Jon edged it. So if you got it for Alex, I'm not complaining. So yeah, Izzy and Jon are the only fighters who kind of made it difficult for him. And recently he's been making it look easier and easier. And I saw a pretty good argument for Pereira on the Ariel show. And it's actually, for me, it's the Joker. It's my trump card in this argument. Because Pereira is the only fighter that we have arguments to think might be the best middleweight, because he's won the belt there, the best light heavyweight, as he keeps proving it, and would fit right in the heavyweight title picture. He's legitimate in those 3 divisions. Who else is legitimate for title shots in 3 divisions? If that's not pound for pound, I don't know what is. So on top of being the most active, the most impressive, a 2-division champion, having the most one-sided title wins of the year, being the fighter of the year, stepping up while injured and saving multiple cards already, and being the fighter of the year, like I said, Pereira is also, in my opinion, clearly the pound for pound best fighter in the world. And in second place, I still have Jon over Islam. I'm sorry, and I know his inactivity been a problem. I know Dana White been glazing him non-stop on every interview and every chance he gets, but I low-key see his point. The guy defended the belt so many times, then moved up after 3 years and ran through Gon, who was at the time number 1. And I'm sorry, but at the time nobody was talking about Tom Aspinall challenging for the belt. He was like number 6 or 7 or maybe 5, but nobody had him in the title picture just yet, and I think he was even injured. And many thought he beat Francis. Gon was the guy, and he was clearly the most athletic and the best out there available for Jon Jones. It was either going to be Gon or tied to Ivasa. So the Gon win was impressive at the time. And listen, people hate on that win so much. But at the time Francis left, we all thought it was going to be Stipe versus Jon anyway. So look at it this way. What if Jon came back from the layoff, beat Stipe, won the belt? Gon would have still been the next guy. He would have probably beat another Spivak in Paris, then he would have been right up there for the title shot. So even if Jon came back, beat Stipe, and then defended against Gon and retired, everybody would hype this shit up. Everybody would put so much credit on this win. We would say Jon beat the new generation of heavyweight, and he just went about it the opposite way. We all thought it was going to be Stipe versus Jon, and Jon would have defended against Gon. But nah, he went in, fought Gon, dominated Gon in 1 minute, and now wants this Stipe fight for his legacy. Look, I don't even think the heavyweight belt is necessary for this fight. I do see Aspinall as the rightful champion. If you ask me, Aspinall is defending the belt before Jon against heavyweight contenders. This is more of a legacy fight for me. So even though I see Aspinall as the rightful heavyweight champion, I still see Jon as pound for pound. That's if you don't put like too much thought about the inactivity. But if you consider him as an active fighter, I still see him as the second pound for pound. And for Islam, look, I know it's gonna create me some enemies, but I don't care. He's clearly up there, don't get me wrong, but to me his pound for pound claim has always felt rushed. Like, look at what Usman had to do to claim it. Look at what Volk had to do to Max Holloway to claim it. Islam was already calling for it without a single defense for beating Oliveira, which is awesome, but doesn't justify it in my opinion. Then he went to a razor close decision with a lighter guy and beat him on 2 weeks notice. Then he beat a 35-year-old Poirier on the brink of retirement. Look, skill for skills, he's up there, but for me, Islam's ascension was always a bit fishy compared to what previous pound for pound had to do. And when you look at what Jones and Pereira have done and their achievements in the UFC, Islam's win over Volkan Poirier don't look as good in my opinion. Like, his win over Poirier is very comparable to Alex Pereira's win over Jan Blachowicz, and his win over Volk is comparable to Alex's win over Izzy. They're both all-time fighter, but then Alex won 2 belts and defended twice against heavier guys and like knocked them out impressively. Islam finished Poirier, yes, but it was an older Poirier, and he also went life and death with Poirier. Like, it wasn't a walk in the park for Islam. So to me, beating Charles and directly calling for pound doesn't sit right with me. Yes, he beat Volk, and then he could have been justified, but I think the others in front of him just did more and did it more impressively. So my opinion is that it's evident that Pereira is the pound for pound, as he's the only one that has a legit shot at becoming 3-division champ. I don't think he will, but he's the only one that's even worth entertaining the idea. Islam's best win is against Volk. He went life and death with, and his most recent is Poirier, who was 2-2 in his last 4. But if you want to switch him and Jones for inactivity, I understand. But in that case, rather than move Jon down, you have to take him off the rankings completely until he comes back. So the number 3 would be Topuria. So Pereira, Islam, Topuria, if you consider Jones inactive. But if you consider Jones active, it has to be Pereira, Jones, and Islam, which is legitimate if you ask me. So thank you for watching. See you soon.